The best at violin, the best at guitar, and the best at singing, and the best. I mean, I had to perform all the time, and it had to be perfect. Why? Because I needed you to constantly be telling me, you're awesome. I'm clapping for you. The applause, the appraisal, the approval of man had to constantly come at me, and I tried to fill my love bucket with the approval of man. Do you think that I felt filled? Do you think that it worked? No, because I wasn't made for it. I was made for unconditional love. And then I get to elementary school, and I stumble onto late-night pornography down at a friend's house. And all of those feelings of dirty and shameful and gross and unlovable come rushing back. And I run into the kitchen. I'd never seen anyone doing this before. I ran into the kitchen, and I began binging in the middle of the night on anything, on food, just anything that I could get, trying to fill my love bucket with something to try to make the pain go away. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Food is the Christian drug of choice. And I decided I'm going to fill my love bucket with food to try to be in control of something. Do you think it worked? No, I wasn't made for food. I was made for unconditional love. And then I get to high school, and I think if a guy can just love me, then maybe I'll feel lovable. And so I'll give my body to them on a Friday night, and I'll mess around, I'll do things that I normally wouldn't otherwise do, because I think if you will just love me, then maybe my bucket, maybe I will feel secure, maybe I'll feel whole. Do you think it worked? No, let me tell you why. Because love and sex are not the same things, no matter what TV tells you. And then I think, I have made it. I have found the answer. Drugs and alcohol. It's awesome. I can forget about the fact that I absolutely hate my life. I hate myself. And I'm in so much pain I don't know what to do. By forgetting it all, by getting high or getting drunk on a Friday and Saturday night. The problem is, every time the drunk wore off, every time the high wore off, and I was left with the emptiness and the pain that was still there. Let me tell you something. Ladies, please get this. This is how addictions get started. You fill yourself with a temporary solution to a permanent problem, but you have to keep going back again and again and again and again to numb the pain. And then I get to college, and I think, man, if I could just look like the girl in the magazine, maybe I'll feel loved. Maybe somebody will look at me, and they'll say, she's beautiful. I want her. And I begin to starve myself. And I begin to throw up my food. And I begin to incessantly obsess about every calorie and look at myself in the mirror and every moment tear myself apart. Let me tell you something. Beauty is not about your reflection. Beauty is about your perception, ladies. If you believe that you are unlovable right now as you are, I promise you, every time you look in the mirror, you will find something wrong. If this was true, and looking like that girl in the magazine, and being beautiful, and being perfect really did make you the happiest person on earth, wouldn't Hollywood be the greatest place ever? Wouldn't they never get divorced, or ever be in rehab, or ever have any problems? Yeah, I live there. It's not that way. In fact, I've got those people on my couch on a weekly basis. They're like, Christa, I've got money, I've got fame, I'm in the movies, I'm in the magazines. I've got everything that the world would tell me that I need to feel secure. And I don't. I still hate myself. I'm still empty. You've got something that I don't have. I've got to have it. What is it? And I always tell them, it's the unconditional love of a God who loves you no matter what. You can't earn his affection. You can't be pretty enough for it. You can't be good enough for it. You can't be bad enough to lose it. You can only just receive it. Let's get the worship team back up here. Ladies, this means absolutely nothing if you do not experience the tangible hands and feet love of a Jesus that will never let you go. The best way that I can describe this love to you is I have a stud hub And he's a stud hub because he's a stud and he's my hub, and it's as deep and spiritual as that. And one day, when we first got married, I still believed that I was unworthy of love. So if you believe that you're unworthy of love and somebody's loving you well, it stings a bit like acid. And sometimes I'd stiff arm his affection, or I'd try to earn it. Like, get away from me. Gosh, you're just making me so mad. But really, I was just trying to reject his love because I hated myself, and I didn't believe that I deserved it. And one day, I had been touring with Michael W. Smith at the time, and I'd quit touring so I could be married and know what it was like to live off the road. So we were on the ramen noodle diet. And I started kind of freaking out because, do we have enough money in the bank to pay our cell phone bill? And, I'm like, babe, I'm just going to go to the bathroom real quick. And I sneaked a long way around to the kitchen. And I'm being as quiet as I can in the fridge, just Hoover vacuuming as much food as I can into my love bucket to try to numb the fear, to try to numb the pain, to try to numb the anxiety. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody plop up on the back of the counter behind me. And I freeze because I know that I've been caught. I know that I'm being watched in the place of my deepest shame. I know that I'm being seen in the place of my life. That if anybody knows this about me, they'll reject me. And I hear him pop open a bag of chips. And I turn around, so afraid that I'm going to see this hatred that I feel for myself, so afraid that I'm going to see shame and gross. Christa, how could you do this? That's how I felt about myself. Surely he would think the same way. Surely he would feel the same way. And he looked at me with such affection. He looked at me with such adoration. He looked at me with so much kindness and so much tenderness and so much acceptance. And he pops open his bag of chips. And he said, baby, if you need to binge, I'm going to binge with you. Because I don't want you to do it alone. Ladies, this is what Jesus does every day in your life. He crawls down in that place that you think if anybody ever sees this, they'll hate me like I hate myself. If anybody ever knows that I've been abused, if anybody ever knows that I cut, if anybody ever knows that I struggle, they won't love me. And he crawls down and he wipes the tears from your face and he kisses your wounds. And he says, baby girl, let me love you. Baby girl, let me love you. Because you can't change yourself. You can't heal yourself. You can't actually make yourself whole. You can just receive love in that place. And as you realize, as you let the medicine of my love go deep into those deep places, something happens, a miracle happens. You begin to heal. You begin to see the truth. You begin to see yourself for the first time. So we're going to have a moment with Jesus, okay? This is you and Jesus. The worship team's going to sing. And I want you to close your eyes. And right now, I want you to see your love bucket. And I want you to take that do not cross tape off. You have to invite love in to the place. You have to invite him into your eating disorder. Invite him into your self-hatred. Invite him into your shame. And as Tiffany sings, as they worship, I want you to see what Jesus does to fill you in that place.